Ski on the
We get to Agua just before midnight. The casino closes at 3 though, so we've only got 3 hours to run it up. We're on the 1-3, waiting for a 2-5 seat. We make $22 and then quickly get called. We add on for $700 more, so we're into the 2-5 game for $1,000. First hand of the night, we look down at ace of spades, queen of clubs from the hijack. 2 limps to me, I raise it up to $25, and the cutoff, the small blind, and the under the gun limper call. 4 ways to the flop with 110 big ones in the pot comes king of diamonds, queen of hearts, 10 of hearts, giving us middle pair and a gutter to the Broadway straight. Checks to me, I bet half pot here for $55 and only the cutoff calls. So we're putting him on a 1 pair type of hand here, but we go heads up to the turn with 220 in the pot, giving us trips. Queen of spades is the turn card, which is an amazing card for us. We pick up trip queens and now we beat ace king and king 10. So I decide to bet $125 here. The cutoff doesn't think about it for too long and decides to call again. So hopefully he has a queen here, one that we beat at least. With 470 in the pot, the river comes the 5 of diamonds, which is a complete blank. We have to go for value again here and evaluate if we get shoved on. So I decide to size up here and try to bet $300. But the tower of chips that I assemble here falls apart, just like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So I'll add another $25 on there for good measure. The cutoff snap calls with 1 chip. I show our trips and we scoop. He shows a queen of diamonds, so just an unlucky card there for him on the turn. But we're going to scoop that $1,120 pot right out of the gate. $1,576 now in our stack. We look down in the under the gun position at jack 10 of hearts. I raise it to 20. 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to the flop with $100 in the pot comes ace of hearts, 5 of hearts, 5 of spades. We flop a flush draw. The big blind now donk leads into us for $50, which probably means a weak ace. So I'm going nowhere. I put in the call, so does the cutoff and the small blind. We only lose 1 player here and we're off to the turn with $300, which comes the 6 of diamonds. The action checks around. We think about taking a stab here, but with 4 players it seems unlikely that we would win. Someone has to have an ace here and it would take a big bet on the turn and the river to get them off. For those reasons I check. 300 still in the pot, the river comes the jack of diamonds. Although we don't get a heart, which is obviously what we were looking for, we now have some showdown value with a pair, which is always good to have. We want to get to a river as cheap as possible, but the big blind isn't about to let that happen and leads into us for $155 here. I think it's likely that the big blind got scared on the turn and checked. When the action checked around, he decides to take us to Value Town here with an ace type of hand. I toss my cards into the muck and everyone else has the same idea and does as well. Table is 6-handed now. We look down at 6-7 of clubs from the button. Under the gun raises to 20. There's 1 call to me. I put in the call and the big blind does as well. So we're going 4 ways to the flop here with 82 in the pot. Flop is a horrible one for us. It comes ace of diamonds, jack of diamonds, 3 of spades. Not only do we not have a pair, we don't have a club on the board as well. Checks to me though, and when no one shows aggression, sometimes I'll do this and I bet $45. We're greeted with some bad news though when the under the gun raiser decides to call. In hindsight, I don't really love this bet. It's not a good idea to bet into 4 people unless you have a strong hand or a hand with potential on future streets, none of which are true about the 6-7 of clubs here. Either way though, we're going heads up to the turn. 172 in the pot, the turn comes the 9 of hearts. He checks to me here, and since we took a line of betting flop, I decide to continue betting this time for $80, and luckily he doesn't put too much thought into it and folds, and we're going to scoop that $252 pot. We drop another person. We're playing 5-handed now. We have 16-15 in our stack. We look down at queen jack of diamonds from the big blind. It's 2 limps and the small blind completes, and I think our hand is good enough here to raise it up to $25. That's what I do, and we get 2 calls, the under the gun and the button call. 3 ways to the flop with 80 in the pot gives us 2 overs and a straight draw. Comes 10 of spades, 2 of hearts, 9 of diamonds. So obviously we flop the open-ended straight draw here, and I decide to bet $45. Both people make it easy on us and they fold, and we're going to drag that $125 pot fairly easily. We now realize that the guy to our direct right is kind of crazy. He's wanting to go in blind with his $2,000 stack. He's ordering a bunch of drinks, so I'm just putting that out there for future action. $16.35 in our stack. We're on the button with the pocket kings. The straddle is on. The crazy guy to our right calls, so I decide to bump it up fairly big. I raise it to $45. The straddle folds, and unfortunately the crazy guy does as well. $16.50 now in our stack. We look down at ace-8 of clubs from middle position. I raise it to $20. We get called by the cutoff, small blind, and the big blind, so we're going 4 ways to the flop with $80 in the pot. Flop comes 5 of spades, deuce of diamonds, 3 of spades. Checks to me, and the table has been really passive so far to c-bets, so we take another stab here for $45 into 80 with our gut shot to the wheel, and they all fold, so we drag a $125 pot pretty easily. Taking notes, new plan, raise in position, and then c-bet when no one seems interested. Our table breaks, so we're off to a new table. Not so fast though, there's only 1 seat and there's 2 people left, me and the crazy action guy to my right. He wants to take it though without drawing any cards, which is kind of strange. He says that he's been here for longer. Sorry man, I need my content for the vlog. The casino closes in 45 minutes, so I say let's draw some cards. Do me a favor and pause the video right now and comment down below the word draw if you would force the dealer to draw cards for the seat, or if you're a nice guy, comment the word play if you would let the fish take the seat and you're first up on the board. I'm curious how many of you in this situation would let the guy take the seat, and how many of you would say, screw it, I want to play, let's draw the cards. Either way, we draw the cards, we beat him by 1 card, and we win the seat. 1700 in our stack. We look down at ace-10 of hearts from the under the gun position. I raise it to 20. Big blind calls, so we're going heads up to the flop, which comes jack of spades, 3 of clubs, 6 of spades. We're at a new table now, so we're not really sure if our c-bet strategy is applicable here, so when he checks to me, I decide to check behind. The turn comes the king of spades, which is a card that could hit our range. He checks to me again here, so we're going to try our luck and rep the king of spades. We bet 25 into 42, and he folds. Good to know that our strategy is still viable, and we scoop a $67 pot. $10-8 of spades now from the cutoff. There's 2 limps to me, and I raise it to $25 here. Both limpers make the call. We're going 3 ways to the flop, which comes ace of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. We're thinking about what we should do here if it gets checked to us, but now the under the gun takes that decision out of our hands and donk bets into us for $40. Middle position player now calls his donk bet, and we have a bunch of backdoor possibilities, so I call as well. We're going 3 ways to the turn with 202 in the pot. Turn comes the 8 of diamonds, so we make a pair to go along with our disguised gutter. Under the gun now checks, middle position checks, and I think with some showdown value here we should check back. I don't think a bet will get an ace to fold, and we don't really want to get check raised here against sets and lose our equity, so we're going 3 ways again to the river. River comes the 5 of diamonds, which is pretty much a brick. Checks to me again here, and I think that we have enough showdown value to check behind and see if we're good. If we didn't have a pair, we could consider taking a stab and trying to bluff the pot, but I don't really want to turn my pair of 8s into a bluff here just yet. Unfortunately in this situation though, under the gun shows ace deuce of spades and scoops this $202 pot, so our read on the flop was correct when we put him on a weak ace type of hand. 1600 now in our stack. We're in the hijack with ace queen of clubs, 1 limp, and we have a premium hand, so I raise it up to $25. The button and the limper calls, so we're going 3 ways to the flop with 82 in the pot. Gives us top pair, comes ace of spades, king of clubs, jack of hearts. We flop top pair with a backdoor straight and flush draw. Under the gun checks. I bet 45 here into 82. The button folds and the under the gun puts in the call. Going heads up to the turn with 172 in the pot is the 4 of spades. Brings in the backdoor spade draw, but other than that, it's pretty much a brick. Under the gun checks, and I bet $75 here for value against any one pair and straight draw hands, and he calls again. So we're going heads up to the river. 322 in the pot. The river comes with 3 of clubs. Another brick, but the under the gun now leads into us for 110. This is really strange. What is he repping here? I raise pre-flop, then bet into 3 players on the flop, and I bet turn as well. I guess he could have the queen 10 straight, but wouldn't he raise it on the turn? I don't think he would ever have any sets here. Aces, kings, and jacks would have raised pre, and 4s and 3s, which came on the turn and river, would fold the flop. He could definitely have 2 pair combos like ace-jack and king-jack that beat us, but it just doesn't make that much sense, and we block ace-jack. River leads though at Agua and pretty much at all the low stakes or never a bluff. I go into the tank here. I think about it for a while, but ultimately I find a very tight fold. Later I asked him if he had me, and he said yeah. I'm just not really sure though. In hindsight, I think that we should be calling here, even though it looks really strong. It's $110 to win $432, so it's around 23% equity that we need, and I think we definitely have that in this situation. I think that we could be good here 1 out of every 4 times. It's just a really strong play though, and I just don't think people bluff here enough in this spot at the low stakes. It just screams someone trying to get value and doesn't want it to get checked behind. If he was bluffing at the lower stakes, people tend to bet bigger. So I think this very small bet was value. Please let me know though down in the comments what you guys think of this hand. This is definitely the one hand out of this vlog that I really would want to know what you guys would do on the river. Last hand of the night, we looked down at Jack 9 of diamonds from the big blind. The straddle's on, there's 2 calls to me. I call as well, and the straddle checks his option. So we're going 4 ways to the flop with $40 in the pot, which comes king of clubs, 10 of spades, 6 of diamonds. Checks to the cutoff, who bets $15 here. The casino's closing pretty soon, and we don't have anything other than a few ambitious backdoor draws, but it's late, and we want to gamble, so I put in the call. Heads up to the turn with 70 in the pot is the 8 of spades, which gives us a double gutter now. Any queen, any 7 will give us a straight. I check, the cutoff bet's $40, and we definitely didn't call 15 on the flop to pick up more equity on the turn and fold, did we? Nope, didn't think so. I put in the call. 150 now in the pot comes the queen of diamonds. Our bad play gets rewarded with the beautiful queen of diamonds on the river. We make a straight. I wanted to get the max here, so I decided to go for the check raise. He takes the bait and bets $75 into 150 here, and all things considered, his hand looks pretty strong here considering he's bet all 3 streets. For that exact reason, I want to size up here and get greedy. I raise him to $295. It's another $225 to him, and he doesn't even really think about it for that long and calls. We show him our second nuts. He busts, and we pick up this nice $740 pot. We rack up our chips and head to the cage. We're out of the game for $17.84, so a profit of $784 in 3 hours. Just finished a great session here at Agua. Got here at midnight. It's around 3 in the morning now. They just shut down the tables because of their COVID restriction. Agua does a great job here. If you guys are in the area and you're worried about COVID, they're honestly one of the safest casinos I've been since the pandemic has hit. We got into the game for 1,000. We won 22 in the 1-3 game and 762 in the 2-5 game. So a profit of $784 in around 3 hours. Not bad at all. We're probably going to play again tomorrow night at Agua, jump back into the 2-5 game, so catch me in that video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel to 50K subs would be the goal in 2021, and I need your help to do it. So yeah, thanks for all the support, you guys. Great video. I got my tea for the drive home, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.